Well, I appreciate the trust placed in me by the International Council for having chosen me to lead this honorable institution. Thanks also to those who have accompanied me in the executive committee throughout these years, especially Renzo Galassi, who will encourage me to apply for this position. LMHI has had important teachers in its history in the position I assume today. One of them, who has also been subsequently named honorary president, was Tomás Pablo Pasquero. From 1972 to 1975, the founder of the Escuela Médica Homeopática Argentina. I consider myself an heir of the Argentine school, which has had homeopaths such as Eugenio Candegave, Alfonso Macerizalde, Francisco Isayaga, and many others who have expanded Hahnemannian homeopathy throughout the world. In Argentina, we have many schools of excellence: Asociación Médica Homeopática Argentina, el Centro Hahnemanniano de Córdoba, la Escuela Médica Homeopática, the School Médica Homeopática misma. In Escuela Médica Homeopática Argentina, Tomás Pasquero, I have been then for 12 years, and I continue on the academic staff. Pasquero's school has provided many illustrious homeopaths to the world and continues the teaching of classical homeopathy at a high level and with the humanist message that its founder, Pasquero, brought as a personal seal to the homeopathy on the world. We are in Sorrento, a city that takes its name from the mermaids, and we are in the Sirene Auditorium. Those mythological creatures that delighted sailors in such a way that with their songs they managed to break ships and cause their crew to perish. Thus, Homer recounts in the Song 12 of the Odyssey the tempting proposals that were made to the sailors while their ship crossed these waters. "Come here," they sang, renowned Odysseus, "honor to the Archean name, and listen to our two voices. No one ever sailed past us without staying to hear the enchanting sweetness of our song. And he who listens will go on his way not only charmed, but wiser. For we know all the ills that the gods laid upon their hives and Trojans before Troy, and can tell you everything that is going to happen over the whole world." Ulysses, the polytropos, man of multiple resources, could devise a ploy that allowed him to enjoy his songs, but at the same time not lose the direction of his ship. By chaining himself to one of the masts and telling his crew to seal his ears with wax, he managed to dodge one of the greatest dangers he encountered on his way to Ithaca. The mermaid's songs are those that enchant their beautiful melody, but that are treacherous, since they lead the listener to perdition. The promise of the mermaids was to reveal the most hidden secrets in the world, since they said, "We can tell you everything that is going to happen over the whole world." And those who heard their songs will go on the way not only charmed but wiser, they say. Ulysses, a wise man, an owner of great intelligence, feared, however, that he was lost because of those songs that could fool him. That is why he chained himself so as not to lose the direction of the boat. Thus, the danger of the enchantments of attractive speeches can also make us shipwrecked in our practice of homeopathy. The secret not to founder is to listen to them, just as Ulysses did, but with a firm basis of the doctrine that was settled by Hahnemann and pursued by the great master of the history of homeopathy. It is good to revitalize our practice as long as the basic principles transmitted by the teachers are not distorted. These principles remain firm, such as the mast that allowed that sailor to overcome the dangers and made the good homeopath not to lose himself in the multiplicity of novelties or charming speeches. Just as the homeopathic community is exposed to those types of danger that arise within our community, there are also other obstacles that stalk us by those who do not understand what is the practice of a humanistic medicine, such as homeopathy. And they try to discredit it with arguments protected in what is now considered as science, often turning away from the open attitude that a true scientist should have. The conviction of those called scientists, who are based on the fact that homeopathy cannot work since high dilution medications cannot have an effect, make their position a prejudice that they should just avoid if they consider themselves as scientific. Even worse, they are those who attack homeopathy for dark interests, since it is convenient for them not to flourish, because their purpose is to maintain the business of the disease. Indeed, disease is a business for many, and the presence of homeopathy decreases their earnings. The health benefit produced by the homeopathic remedy when it is aimed at the cure of chronic disease, understood as our philosophy does, puts the patient in the situation of not having so many clinical problems, which results in the well-being of the patients. At the same time, the cost reduction is also a benefit for the state, since the investment that must be made is less. Likewise, the rationalization is in the request for complementary studies, as well as the reduction in iatrogenic effects that can be produced by the remedy uses in standard medicine, also contribute to reducing care costs. In this regard, it is worth recalling a recent research published in a British medical journal show that medical error is the third cause of death in United States of America, and among them is the use, abuse, and side effects of conventional medications. Many colleagues in different countries are suffering the consequences of systematic attacks that occur from the media, and we sympathize with them. But homeopathy has already been attacked many times and has always survived as a truth that resists the onslaught of misunderstanding or evil intention. LMHI is the oldest and most important homeopathy organization in the world, and therefore has the obligation to maintain the dissemination of classical homeopathy, but also to defend homeopathy and the homeopathic community of this kind of systematic attacks. But LMHI is not only those who are currently in the direction of it, but all the institutions and members that comprise it. To meet our goal, we need everyone's help to defend our truth from our enemies. For that, we must adopt the sentence of the Stoic philosopher and emperor Marcus Aurelius, who wrote in Meditations, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." We must, therefore, avoid foolishness and pride, sources of misunderstanding, as well as ambition and greed, sources of evil intent. Let us continue in the practice of true homeopathy. Our patients who benefit from this wonderful healing system will also be defenders and guarantors that homeopathy and homeopaths will never disappear. And as the WhatsApp of Renzo is in the sentence, lunga vita alla homeopatía. Thank you.